Good morning, family. This is the talented 10th financial coach Jay coming back at you with some more content on financial freedom. Just want to say it is a great feeling to be financially free, where you no longer have to go to work for money. I know it's probably foreign because in most families we don't. Families that are thriving, not just trying to survive and going to the food pantries, nothing with that if that's where you're at. But when we get to the level of financial freedom, where you no longer have to exchange your time for money and you can still thrive in life, but you got to have some substance. We've been using this tool called the Roth IRA, Individual Retirement Arrangement. Once again, the Roth IRA was established in 1997. It was legislated and passed by Congress and signed off by the President to be able to help people fund their retirement. Once again, where they no longer have to exchange their time for money. And it's a wonderful tool. It's a great tool, one of the legs on that stool that we are to set on high up on as we get to our senior age of life, and we're able to depend on pulling the money out. Once again, with the Roth, it is not taxed. Once you're 59 and a half and above, you no longer have to pay taxes on that money, and it's held in there for at least 5 years. So if you started at 55, you got to hold it in there until you're 60 years old. When you start pulling it out, compound growth, interest free, principal free, all of that. So we gotta jump in this game of using the Roth IRA, especially us as black people. Most black people are going to start drawing their Social Security income around 62 years old. If you hold out, it increases your Social Security income. So if you hold out, 70 is the high. It doesn't get any higher than when you reach the age of 70. So there's no need to go beyond the age of 70. So if you got the Roth IRA and you got your Social Security coming in, you can possibly no longer have to exchange your time for money. Now you can go to work if you like, of course, because it's nothing wrong with going to work and serving your purpose. Nothing wrong at all. But we really need to think about getting to the level of no longer exchanging our time for money. Once again, this Roth IRA is a great tool. Once again, you won't be taxed on that money, because you're taxed on the money. It's called after-tax dollars. And I know I'm saying the same thing, but faith cometh by hearing. Faith cometh by hearing. But when also the contributions that you put in, at any time you can go back and get those contribution dollars. At any time you can go back and get those contribution dollars. So I would really invite you all to just home in on this Roth IRA. There's an income limit. So if you're single, you can put up the income limit for you for the year of 2024. Once again, you can only put in $7,000 if you're in the year of 2024. $7,000 if you're under the age of 50 years old. If you're above the age, you can put in an additional $1,000 catch-up contribution in the year of 2024. So if you're 50 and above, you can put in a total of $8,000. And if you're under 50, you can put in a total of $7,000 if you have that earned income of either $7,000 under the age of 50, or if you have the income of $8,000 if you're 50 and above. Now, I will say there's an income limit as far as how much you can earn before you're no longer able to contribute. So just be aware of that. So if you make, I believe it's 146,000 to 153, you have it's called the phase out plan if you're under the age, once again, if you're single. So if you make 158,000, it may drop down, instead of 7,000, it may drop down to 6,500, but it continues to go down as you're able to, as you make more income, up to the age, I believe, the dollar amount, I believe, of 153. But check me on that. Just Google that, the income limit phase out plan. If you're married, if filing jointly, it's 200,000. Once it start phasing out, 230,000 up to 240,000. Once you reach 240,000, you cannot contribute anything into your Roth IRA. Remember that all of these are Roth IRAs or just the IRA, traditional IRA. It's individual. You're not putting money as a team, as a partnership. It's all individual retirement arrangement. I know I was listening to a podcast one day and the lady was saying, well, can we do it together? No, it's individual retirement arrangement, and that is for you individually. And so if you got a married couple and you want to file, she files, and you're under 50, she files 7,000, he files, if you're in a traditional marriage, and he files 7,000. You got $14,000 that's working on your behalf for that year. That is significant when you're talking about wealth building. And the thing I like about the wealth building journey is it's just that. It's a journey. It's fun when you get started, when you're seeing the numbers add up. But you want to get to the point where you set it and forget it, where you no longer have to really bonker down on, is it moving? No, you set it and really you forget it. I was listening to Warren Buffett and then Jack Bogle. Jack Bogle is the founder of Vanguard. He's no longer on the earth rim. I think he passed away in like 2018 or 19. I can't remember exactly what year, but he started the Vanguard fund. He started it for the investors. We, the investors, actually are the owners of Vanguard, opposed to some of the other ones there. But he designed it that way, and he could have been super rich, but he was looking out for people. He loved people, and he wanted to see people get financially free by using the index funds. Index funds, they have the lowest fees, as I always say. The expense ratio are very, very low compared to the other ones. So you're looking at, maybe 0.01, 2, 3, or 4%, 0.01, 2, or 3, or 4% versus 1%, 2%, 3%, 5% sometimes. And so he really dedicated his life to looking out for the shareholders and for the shareholders being the owners. So it's a wonderful thing. So let's get involved with this Roth IRA. You can start most of the Roth IRAs, depending on who you go with. You got Vanguard. I like to go with the big guys, the Vanguards, the Fidelity, or Charles Schwab, T. Rowe Price, whoever. But make sure you look at the expense fees. Look for an index fund. If you look for an index fund, you will see the difference in the expense ratio when you go in that column. So don't just invest, I'm just going down to the bank and I challenge you to go to one of these brokerage firms, as I just named, and look for an index fund and get the best bang for your buck. Eventually, I am looking forward to seeing my grandchildren. I have grandchildren that are 6 and under, and the plan is to be able to, and I said it before, is to be able to go ahead and help fund them. I call it the matching program. So eventually when they start working, I said, okay, you put in this amount and grandpa will match you with this amount. And that's once we get to the years where they're like actually working outside of their family business. Once they start getting employed with their family business, I plan on helping fund that, actually funding that for them. And I know it's good to have skin in the game, but other people have been given a leg up, and still some folks still got stuff in trust that they know that they can play around and take some high risk. And some of our, we don't have that opportunity as black folks for the most part, a lot of us. I know I did, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to build it for the next 2 generations away. my grandchildren and great grandchildren, whoever, yeah, they really gonna be on it. So that's my game plan for us as black folks, where you can come out, you can take vacations, and you can pull money out of your accounts once you start getting to those ages, or maybe you even have I call it the Grow to Gap Fund. We haven't even talked about the Grow to Gap Fund. The Grow to Gap Fund is basically money that you're investing now. You can invest into some of these same index funds that we're talking about, but you may pay capital gain tax on it, but it's very little when you look at how much the long-term capital gain is. If it's anything above a year, you pay long-term capital gain, which is very, sometimes you won't even be taxed on it, depending on your income level. I know for a married couple for the year 2024, the married couple filing jointly, you don't pay capital gains unless you're over $94,000. And then it goes from 0 to 15 to 10% capital gains. Okay, but that's the Grow to Gap Fund. That's the fund that's set in place. After you get your retirement accounts going, such as your 401k, your Roth IRA, if you're able to contribute to the Roth IRA, depending on your income level. And then you got the Grow to Gap Fund, where you got this money that you're growing. What it is growing the gap before you start pulling out at 59.5 from the retirement accounts. That's why we call it the Grow to Gap Fund. So you want to fully fund that into one of those index funds. Once again, you can pull that money out penalty or tax-free at any time. But what we're trying to do is set it. Once again, you always want to have a mindset of setting that goal. Why are we doing what we're doing? What's our purpose? And let's go ahead and hit these goals. So we're going to do the Grow to Gap Fund. Grow to Gap Fund, once again, I would say anywhere between 5 and 10% that you can be putting over into that after you fully fund, or whatever your percentage that you choose for your Roth IRA as well as your 401k. And we will be talking about the 401k really soon. But the Grow to Gap Fund is another leg of the stool. I like to call it the third leg of the stool, and you can have more legs on the stool, but 3 legs will hold you up. When you're thinking about a stool, most stools they have 3 legs, some have 4 legs, but if you got at least 3 legs, that's going to hold you up. 2 legs, not so much so. But if you look at the scientific design of holding things up, you got at least 3 legs that will hold a stool up. I know I got a couple of stools at home, they have 4 legs. So really, if you want to say instead of the 3 legs, we can now go with the 4 legs, because we got Social Security once we reach the age of 2000. Once we reach the age of 62, once again, you're going to receive a reduced, I call it a permanent haircut. You'll be like 25% below the full retirement age, or whatever it is. For me, it's most people is 67. If you're in my age group and below, right now. It used to be 65, but they keep moving the age up because we're living longer. So they keep moving that age up. But you can take a reduced amount at the age of 62, and also between 62 and full retirement, or whatever your full retirement age is. For me, it's 67. So if I started working like this year, I believe I can't make more than $23,300 or $22,320 that I can earn. If I earn, I can earn, but for every $2 over, they'll take back $1. Social Security will. So that's something to keep in mind when you start looking at 62 and above, if that's you. So you may want to wait if that's what your goal is. And once again, you always set a plan, set a goal, and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to make up to that amount, and then I'm not going to work beyond that, because I can I have my Grow to Gap Fund to gap it before maybe I don't want to start taking my retirement accounts until I'm 70 years old, where that money just keeps building. And once again, if it's in Roth, it keeps building compounded growth free. You'll never be taxed on that money again. So let's look at these different plans, you guys. We got the 3-legged stool that we're looking at. We got this actually 4-legged stool. You got Social Security once you reach 62, 59.5. You can start pulling from your Roth IRA. You got the Grow to Gap Fund, and then you also have your 401k once we start talking about that, which will be coming up very soon. So get ready, because there's no income limits to contribute on a 401k, whether it's Roth or traditional. All right, family, have a great day and happy Resurrection Day to everyone.